All right.
Okay, awesome. So I guess what are we looking at? I mean, it looks like you're playing Elise mid, but was there anything specific you feel like? I mean, I know it's kind of unconventional
Um,
pick, but like, what do you feel like you would say that you kind of struggle with as a player?
so so I'm trying to work on my warding and stuff. Like
Yeah,
I'm just focusing on that at the
yeah,
moment. So um, the thing is, the other pick I play a lot. So I actually went up to silver
yeah,
since the last coaching, like in a week.
yeah.
So I've gotten to silver, and I'm just been focusing on that.
Mm.
But my other pick that I play a lot is kale, and it's very weak,
Yeah,
sort of
like polar opposite to
slow
Kale's.
lane.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's polar opposite. So I'm trying to like work on my mid game sort of warding, and I'm trying to like find people in the mid game, like in bushes
Mm,
and stuff like that, without risking dying. And like you,
mm,
like in this game, you see like I sort of try and pick people off, but there's like
mm,
more than one person like there, but they weren't in
mm.
vision or something. Like I'm just trying to like get a bit more
Okay.
consistent with
Okay.
how I pick people off and like not going for it. Like
Yeah.
I'm obviously trying to do it too much
Yeah.
as well.
Okay. Yeah. Let's take a look. So let's start with understanding. So is this played in silver or is this on a different account in iron?
This is either a bronze 5 or silver game.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So this is okay. So this is like bronze and silver. Okay. Awesome. Perfect. So what you need to understand is that bronze and silver to gold is you need to understand how does your champion deal damage, win games, such when are they strong. That's what you need to understand. Okay. So players in gold might not have the best fundamentals, but they know damn well how to get strong with their champion and what their how to deal damage with their champion, right? And if we tie that back to one of the early reviews in this Discord, right, when I was doing the Ari player, he didn't really understand the game at a high level, but he was really, really, really good at Ari, right? His Ari ability usage was great. His laning phase was great. And so your job as a bronze and silver is to get to that point. We need to understand if you're gonna play Elise mid and compete and commit to Elise mid, you must understand what is Elise mid trying to accomplish. Okay. And so already off of level one, this is signaling to me you're not entirely certain about what your job is in Elise. Okay. So Elise is a champion that is really weak until level three. Now, could you guess why that is? If you had to take a wild guess.
Um, yeah, so I think that would be a spike because that's when you have all 6 abilities
Exactly. Yes, exactly. That's when you have all
and
six
you can stun
abilities.
people and execute.
Exactly. Yes, exactly. So what I'm gonna say in this situation is that the reason why this doesn't work is that at least it's a complete piece of shit at level one, right? Because your champion's not designed to be strong level one. Your champion does not have an ultimate, so all of her power comes from when you have all six basic abilities in conjunction with each other, right? You need all six. And so it's really important that you understand that because I would never opt in for invade on your own like that, like to sync up with your cosmic. So what I would have done is chill, far just play mid and chill, and then when you're level three, and let's say your cosmic is still making plays and invading, then you can follow up and help him once you hit level three. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it makes perfect sense, yeah.
Okay. So we don't want level three, level one skirmishes, and that's exactly why this play doesn't work. Like, look at how bad this feels in Elise. You're just chasing him in melee form with your W on, right? It's like just you can't do much here.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So we're off to already kind of a rough start because you have no TP now. Very interesting mid matchup where it gets Ezreal as Elise. That's fine though. We'll make it work. Yeah, so what we're trying to do is just farm up until level three. So what I don't want so this is again, this is gonna tie back to what I was talking about, right? And so because you're level three spiking champion, what do we need to do? We need to avoid taking risk slash damage pre-level three, right? Because what happens when you're low HP? Like what if you're at 20% pre-level three? How are you going to use a level 3 spike now, right? Right? Doesn't exist anymore.
Yeah,
You see?
yeah,
So now you're losing out a
dang.
lot of power of your pick here.
Yeah, I kind of understood the first few levels of this were real bad.
Yeah.
Played really badly. I think I tried to eat a Q with the spiders, and
Hmm.
yeah, right there. I ate everything
Yeah.
as well.
Yeah. 'Cause I mean, the reality is you're like, yeah, like ideally what would happen is that you use your level 3 spike to all in this Ezreal, but now you're like 4 CS under turn no TP. This just feels miserable, right? Okay. Well, we'll come back. Yeah, we're already down a lot of farm. Okay. Okay. Let's talk about your trading rotation as well. Okay. So,
Talk about the open shop in the middle of it.
yeah. Well, I think the
In
main
the
thing
middle of
is
the
like,
combat.
yeah, yeah. Honestly, I think the main problem here is that you're in melee form for too long. All right. So the way Elise works is, do you know how her Q works? Like, do you understand how it does damage?
Yeah, the HP percentages.
Exactly. Yes.
Yeah,
So Elise ranged Q is percent current health, I believe, right? So what does that mean? That means the higher HP they are, the more it does. Okay, and her melee Q is the reverse, right? It's a missing health. So
yeah,
the lower HP they are, right? The more it does. So you see where I'm going with this, right? And so your trading pattern, right, needs to be melee E, right? Get in range, right? Press melee W, right? Swap to ranged, stun, Q, auto, W, swap to melee again, then Q. You
Wait,
see?
hang on. Melee. Yeah, I don't know how I'm gonna gap close. Is the problem there?
Yeah, so
Because I'm
that's
actually rappelling on top.
yeah,
So I
exactly. So you
actually,
rep on top
what
of
I
it.
do is,
Yep.
I this is what I do a lot of the matchups. Like I repel, Q on top of them, W whatever, and I turn so the spiders eat the Q,
Yeah.
and then I turn caster, and then I E him, and I'm not maxing the damage. I'm trying to proc the electrocute
Yes. Yes.
and just chunk him and then run away
Yeah. Yep.
and then do it over and over again.
Yep.
That's kind of what I've been doing.
Yep.
But
Yep. So
yeah, it's
understand.
not damage maxing. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So understand though that if you're right here on top of him and you swap forms, how easy is it to land your stun? Right?
Um.
You repel
Well,
and you're
he's
on
right
top of
on
him.
top of me.
Exactly. So that's really easy to land your cocoon, right? And
Yeah.
so I would actually do a thought experiment. You don't need to be in range to hit him here. No, you swap the range, you stun him, you W him, you Q him, and then you swap back to melee and Q him on the back end. You see?
Yeah. I'm just not sure if my spider form has enough shorter
That's three
cooldown to do
seconds,
that.
right? 3 seconds. Your stun lasts what was it 1.25? So it's a 2 second cooldown.
Yeah, I might have to practice that in practice still
Yeah,
because I've probably built up a bunch of muscle
yeah.
memory. But I'll have a look at. I will look at that.
Because
Yeah.
the reason why I'm saying this, obviously, I don't play Elise mid. Right? I'm
Mm.
not gonna say pretend I play Elise mid, but I played against Agurin, which I don't know if you know who that is, but he's one of the best Elise players in the world, and he does that
Yeah.
exact
Yeah.
rotation I just told you against me on repeat. He goes
Yeah.
spider form, E, and instant swap to ranged, stun, walk forward, and don't auto attack. Like
Spider
be
form
melee
instant
range
swap to range.
as
The
be in melee ranged as be in melee range as ranged mode. and then
So
take your rotation off, and then swap to spider, and then Q again.
well, okay. So that sounds. Yeah, I'll have to test it because I'm not sure if I do that, they might actually be able to retaliate too. So yeah. Anyway, I'll take that and I'll try it.
Well,
Yeah.
remember that Elise should never lose short trades. You have 6 basic spells, so if they're retaliating, they're gonna
Yeah.
lose. You see, because think about it. If you swap to melee at the end
Mm.
and then you Q them, all your spiders are not hitting them when they're trying to retaliate, right? Whereas when you do it in this order, you're in range when they retaliate, so you have no spiders now.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, yeah, that is true.
Okay, that's fine though. You push him out of lane. Yeah, like so. Again, here, like I'm not the biggest fan of using that E like that. I would just wait for. I would wait a sec, and then E on top of him here, and then again go mid, and then instant swap.
I,
Do
I,
whatever you
I
do.
was I was actually saving the spider.
Okay,
I was actually stopping him from killing the spider. I wasn't actually
right.
going to jump on him
Yeah, I think
there.
so. Remember that at least the spiders come out really quickly because you just use a few basic spells and they're back up, and your repel is a major cooldown. So it's really important that you're very patient
Yeah,
with your E. Like, look, your E
I
is still in
probably should have had
CD.
it there.
Yeah, exactly. So you want to have patience with your E because it's like with melee E because it's a massive CD, and
Yeah,
spiders are easy to regen. Right? You just need to use range form spells and you'll get your spiders back.
yeah, that was probably the worst death of this entire VOD. Like, there's a lot of real bad deaths in this.
Mm. Yeah, it's the same thing here, right? Just go on him. Just jump on his head. You can beat him.
Yeah.
Your champ wins extended trades. And so what you need to do, like, and this is exactly what I mean. This bronze is silver range to gold. You need to understand your champion really well. And even though you might have a lot of Elise mastery, maybe you don't understand exactly what Elise wants to do, right? At a high level. Remember, Elise loves extended trades because your champion has no ult. So 6 basic spells equals you love extended trades early game. This is early game, by the way. Later in the game, you don't, obviously. You're burst champion later late game. But early game,
Hmm.
you love extended trades. And so you need to try to force that, right? And that specific melee form W plus spiders enable extended trades. And so what you need to do is you need to take the time to think about how can I trade against this champion to allow me to end with this. Okay. Yeah, here we go. This should be a good trade. Yeah, so this would be the same thing. Notice how you're back clicking? Go forward. This guy's fucked. You kill him. Right? Just instead of using your spider form Q, just W auto and just chase him down with autos. Auto. Drop your ignite. He gets real low and he ease away. Then you chase with repel and then you Q when he's low. Boom, he's dead. Does that make sense?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. I actually think I do that here. It would have been better if I did it a second ago, but yeah.
Okay, nice. Comes back in, you get the kill. Yep, I don't mind this. I think Elise loves skirmishes, so I don't mind you overstaying to try to grab another kill here. Doesn't end up working out. You go for a base. Probably TP back here. So one thing, this is pretty small, but so Sheen is not really a good component unless you're champion that can proc Sheen really easily, right? So like GP is a champion that doesn't mind Sheen, right? And Jax, a champion like Elise doesn't love Sheen because she has high AP ratios. And it's kind of hard to keep constantly procking Sheen. You're not like procking a cooldown because you're just doing one rotation and then and then that's it, right? So I'd prefer you go AP over the Sheen. when you're going Lich Bane. It's a little better.
Yeah. I actually was wondering about that,
Right.
which is good.
Okay, help with the grubs. Okay, this is really important as well. So just in general as a mid laner, it's really important that you value your farm. Okay, so after an objective is taken, or after a fight is over, so in this case grubs are gone, you need to find farm ASAP. That's really important you maintain your farm. So right here we just took grubs, right? So instead of moving up to top, right, and getting your Quinn to mid, because the wave is already on mid, just sprint to mid and get the farm mid.
Yeah, the Quinn was kind of getting shit on top. That's why I actually switched.
Hmm. Yeah,
So yeah,
yeah, that makes
otherwise
sense.
I would have ran back. Yeah.
Yeah, I could see your thought process. The reason why I don't like that is that again, think about Elise, right? Elise wants to skirmish, right?
Mm.
So what happens if you go top? What happens to your skirmishing ability when you go top lane?
Well, there's less volatility
Exactly.
top. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So how are you gonna skirmish with your jungler on top, right? And so yeah, I think it's very like that's a good idea. I just think on Elise specifically, that's not the best because I want to be mid where the action is, right? If I'm top, I don't want to be in the isolated 1v1. That's not really what my champion wants to do. Oh, you didn't end up dying actually. Wait, let's go back. What happened here?
No, I threw out a terrible E.
Mm,
I don't know what the fuck was going on with that E.
mm,
It was horrific.
yeah.
I don't know what it is, but like sometimes when I'm like throwing skill shots, it feels like my mouse is like really flicking to one side
Mm.
sometimes, and specifically when
What's
I'm
your
throwing down.
sensitivity? Do you know
Yeah,
what
I'm
your
not sure.
DPI
I have
is?
to. I mean, I could have a look, but
Yeah.
yeah, it's
So that's probably a sign that you're probably playing on slightly too high of a sensitivity.
yeah,
So I'd probably reduce
because
that a
I'm
little
doing
bit.
it a lot.
I would reduce that a little bit, like do it slowly over time. Like what I did is I was like, I already play pretty high. Only reduce
Yeah.
mine by 50 at a time. That way it's not noticeable enough where it feels uncomfortable, but it'll still, you'll slowly get better. So I'd recommend you do like 50 DPI down at a time. Would be my recommendation for that.
Mm.
So right, like for example, I used to play on 800. I play on 750 now. I just reduced it by 50, and it felt like almost exactly the same.
Okay, I think mine's like 1,000
Yeah, that's way too fast. Cause
something.
yeah, keep in mind, me at 800 is already really fast, by the way, for a league player. So if you're at 1,000, that's probably the reason why. Okay. I mean, yeah, a lot of this is because you ended up going top, right? Like again, I'm not a fan of you going top. I would have much preferred you go. Man, if we go back, actually, yeah, I don't mind you going top here. I think what I don't like is that you keep pushing top. After you push this wave, I would have grouped here because
Yeah, I'm
again,
not
in the
taking a lot of
skirmishes, yeah,
I'm not taking a lot of small wins.
yeah,
I'm noticing that. Yeah,
exactly. You want small wins and skirmishes, right? You're trying to like milk everything, like get the absolute biggest bang for your buck. The reality is you're not playing a champion
I'm.
that does that.
You know what it is? I'm trying to demolish this tower,
Yeah,
which I
right.
kind of like sometimes because it simplifies the game for me. Because
Yeah,
I
it
just go
does.
tower, but this is what I meant about vision. I had no idea this Rengar was
Yeah.
up top because I wasn't tracking him.
Yes. I think for now to keep it simple is keep track of what your jungler is doing and play with your
Yeah.
jungler. Because remember, you're a skirmish oriented champ. So if you're causing this bot, I don't want to be making a play top. Right? You're early game
Mm.
champion. So if you remember that early game mistakes are very detrimental in a champion like Elise because she doesn't have great scaling, right? She's an early games focused champion. And so what I would have done in this situation here is get that wave in, assess the situation. Okay, oh, my Kha'Zix is bot. I'm actually not going to demolish right now. But if your Kha'Zix was top in the area, I would have been totally fine with you doing that play.
Okay.
Okay, yeah, you end up going back to mid here. I think we almost have Lich Bane. I would try to base for Lich Bane here. Yeah, I mean, you can't beat him right now because he has an item over you. So, like I said, right, you win the extended skirmishes, but you do if you're, like, even, right? You're behind right now, so...
I wouldn't fight him before when I could have beaten him, and now I'm
Yeah, exactly.
now I'm
Yeah,
keen for a fight.
exactly. Yeah. Okay, and I'm getting a pick. I think you... So this is another big thing too, right? Is like if you have a lot of gold, don't fight while you're on a lot of gold. So, oops. Cancel. So this is just a league fundamental. Is like if you have, I would say over 1,200 gold, even 1,000, but like 1,200 plus, don't fight on the map. You want
Yeah,
to,
because you're weaker.
yeah, exactly. Spend your
Yeah.
gold. So like you have 1,700 gold right now, right? If you take a fight right now, imagine your score and reduce your farm by 50 and your kills by 2. And that's how much
Yeah.
gold you have when you take this fight. Right? That feels awful. You're basically a support in terms of items right now. Right? And so it's really important you're on top of your reset timings and you spend your golds when you have a lot. Like in this situation, I would have not even taken this play and just and just bought Lich Bane and then come back on the map. And you probably would have won this skirmish if you had your Lich Bane.
Yeah. I've got the move speed to run back fast too, so I
Yeah,
should be
exactly.
using that more.
That's right. Hmm. I mean, at this point in the game, you're just too far behind, right? Like, I'm not really worried about that death. I think this death actually, I don't mind this from a learning perspective because, like, you're fighting with your team, right? Like, your causing is in the area, you're fighting with your Quinn. Whatever, this is fine. I think just the reality and the learning is, like, why the hell am I this weak as an Elise mid, right? That'd be the actual takeaway in the situation. This is where I would, like, think about it, like, look back in the game. And then, like, a lot of it is because you didn't take good quality training as Ezreal early into the game. You had a bad level 1 invade. You went top and died top, right? You didn't value your farm, right? And you did prioritize skirmishing. And so now you're at this point in the game. Like, remember I talked about you're struggling in the mid game to get picks? This is why. When I look at this situation here and we look at this, how are you going to play the game with the score? Right? It's not possible. You're so far behind. You're basically support.
We
Like,
we actually win this game.
yeah, I mean, it's not. I'm not saying it's not winnable, but I'm saying how are you supposed to do your job
Yeah.
at the least? You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah. I know what you're saying. I'm
Yeah,
like super weak. Like, yeah. There's other times when I play at this time and I'm like two-shotting people. So
yeah, exactly.
yeah.
Because, like your support literally has more items than you, right? Like unironically. Okay, we'll just keep going just a little bit more. Repel, swap to ranged here. Okay. Yeah, you guys here too. Nice. This is good. Very nice.
And I stay for too long again.
Yeah, it's just the same thing. You're overstaying, not thinking about where your jungler is, right? So I think that's a common trend I'm noticing. And then you're probably gonna die here. I'll probably end it there because I think I know the majority of the mistakes I want you to prove on. So Okay, yeah, there's a lot of different avenues we could work on. I think that biggest thing I want you to work on is Elise's strengths. Like I'm sure you understand it, but like understanding it and executing on that, right? So remember, you want your level 3 spiking long trade champion that transitions into a
Mm.
skirmisher and burst champion. Okay, squishy burst champion. So you
Yeah.
need to understand that, and so you want to form your game plan around that. Don't take too much damage early game. Play for your level 3. Play for your level 3 all in. Be happy with extended trades and spider farm, right? Value your farm and be at skirmishes, right? This is like the core that I want you to focus on in terms of the high level, right? And then in terms of some of the nuanced things, right, that I want you to work on is like work on your base timings, right? And how much gold you have, right? How much gold on the map. Um, work on making sure you're catching waves, right? Work on your control word placement, like you were talking about, right? And in terms of other specifics, like work on your rotation, right? And break out of your heavy.
How many control wards is too much? Because sometimes I go back and buy 2 control wards, or I buy one, or like,
So, okay, this is
does
how I
it
want you to view.
matter?
Yeah, this is how I want you to view control words. Okay, if you're winning, you should be buying more. If you're losing, you should be buying less. There's not a strict value, but that's a framework. If you're ahead, like I
If
say,
if I'm fighting someone that turns invis, like a Kali or something like that, should I be
well,
using
that
more
doesn't
as
work
well?
against her. Some
Well, you
champions,
can't pink order.
no, some champions. So that's just a knowledge thing. Some champions stealth doesn't work with control words. So I'll make it very clear or very easy to understand. So control words reveal stealth if the champion's stealth is for a long period of time. Okay, so Viego,
Mm,
Twitch, Evelyn. Okay,
right.
Akshan. Champions that have what very long duration of stealth. Champions where their stealth is short, it doesn't work on. Okay, so Rengar,
Yeah.
Akali, who else briefly goes in stealth? Talon. So it doesn't work on these ones. It works on champions where their
Okay.
stealth lasts a long amount of time.
Yep. All
Okay.
right.
So does that make sense what we covered today? There's a lot, obviously there's a lot here, but do you think that gives you something to work on?
Oh yeah, it gave me a lot to work on.
Okay,
I'll
awesome.
be working on that trading style too.
Yes,
All
awesome.
right.
Cool. Do you have any questions for me or anything else you want to ask me?
No, you covered a lot. I've asked you tons of questions
Yeah,
already
no
anyway.
problem, man. Of course, anytime.
Okay.
Yeah, no problem, man.